What is up, everyone? Trevito here. I just want to talk about Steins Gate Zero, a new anime that's airing right now. They have a visual novel of it, apparently. I have not read that, so I'm kind of in the dark with a lot of things that could be happening here, and I'm not spoiled at all yet. Which I would like to be because I'm really curious about what's going to be happening. I'm assuming if you're listening to this, you're either watching Steins Gate Zero, you're just part of the channel, and we're just curious what I was going to say about this. But Steins Gate Zero follows up Steins Gate, which was an anime. It's also a video game too. And if you like sci-fi, if you like a bit of mystery, if you like time travel especially, and like different dimensions and stuff, then it's the perfect anime for you. That's one thing I really love about this show. It's one thing that got me super hooked on the Steins Gate. I know a lot of people said that the show like developed very slowly, and like not too much, action or like main plot points happened, like in a good enough time frame. Like they took too long. But I think Steins Gate Zero is going at a very good pace. Everything's been super exciting, and I feel like at the end of every episode, I'm just more and more curious about what's going to happen. Because, like I said, the show deals with a timeline that is basically forced into itself because the show, the way that it explains how time works is that like it's kind of like a Twizzler, where if you had like a bunch of strings that are all wrapped up together, all these timelines, they're all merged together into like one synchronous timeline, I guess you could say. However, they do all exist amongst each other as small little threads. So portions of each different timeline can affect each other, if you go back in time and change the result. So there are butterfly effects. I'm not sure if I did the best job of explaining that. It's a very complicated concept, and I'm just trying to make like a really short review here for the first 5 episodes of Steins Gate Zero. But anyways, definitely do more research on it. Watch the show, check out the visual novels and all that. But Steins Gate and Steins Gate Zero, definitely check it out if you love sci-fi. So I want to talk about episodes 1 through 5 real quick. And the first thing I want to say that sticks out to me the most as compared to regular Steins Gate is Okabe. He is like more, I guess you could say, mature right now. He's like acting so much more adult like, when it's not like he's some sort of 50-year-old man or anything. He's like a young genius. He's not like as witty and as cocky and making all these like really cool mad scientist jokes and stuff. And I missed that from before. I mean, they'll probably bring it back in. And I also understand that he's really screwed up in the head, which I think that's really what it is. I feel like he's like super screwed up in the head right now, especially because Kurisu is not alive in this timeline. However, in this timeline, Amethyst, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, it is her. It is her. Her electrical currents that made up her conscience, computerized, and so now those currents are being repeated through a computer simulation of her, which contains her memories, and it's able to react and respond as like a really powerful AI system. So that's really cool, and that's one thing I love too, is that she's in this. Even though in this timeline it's supposed to be where he wasn't able to save her, so she's like dead, essentially, and that's something that this newer character, Maho, she keeps repeating to him like, oh, like she's not alive, like she's just basically a robot version of her that's able to act similarly because it's the program's running off of her, off of like what her conscious was simulating, and that's what it's reading. So that's also a really cool thing I love about this show too, is that idea of consciousness, and the idea of consciousness being able to be computerized and broken into an artificial intelligence machine, basically. And that's something that I don't know if any of you guys listening are really into sci-fi and stuff, but Michio Kaku, he actually spoke about that a couple times in some videos I saw of his and some articles I read about his, where that's like the future where people will be able to, kind of like upload and download like people's conscious essentially, into hard drives, and then be able to have that person technically still alive, which it kind of goes off of the theory that Steins Gate's going off of, which is really cool. I love how Steins Gate really does get into some really interesting sci-fi topics that, we're trying to actually do in the world, like especially, like with CERN and stuff, like all that stuff like somewhat exists in real life. So it was really, really cool. But yeah, so Okabe, I think like I want to see him more like his old self. Kurisu, I really hope like, I don't know, like, as far as the love story goes, I really hope they get it going on. I really like though how, they made Okabe kind of like a pimp again. Like all the ladies love him. The girls are all into him. Like especially Maho. I think that's kind of funny how she's into him. Mayuri's back. I love her little doo-doo-doos. So that's really cool. She hasn't like lost a beat at all. Like her character is like so perfect, and it's like such a brightening thing. Like yeah, she kind of sounds like a broken record where she's like kind of repeating herself so much, and she's like so overly positive. It's like crazy. But man, like if you saw the first Steins Gate, like what happened to her in a couple episodes and stuff. I mean, those episodes were so sad. And spoiler, I'm about to say it now. Like, when she was killed in one of the timelines. Oh, man, it was so sad. And I would hate for her to die off again now. Which was another thing that in these first 5 episodes, Mocha, Kiryu, I wasn't expecting her back. And it was really interesting to see how she was using a phone. She got a text message. At first, I was about to be so thrown off if she had received a text message from Okabe, and I would have been like, okay, so now there's seriously some damage to all these multiple timelines, and what was thrown into this one, because it would not have made any sense. And I'm really curious if she is going to be some sort of bad guy or not. And how that's gonna go about. But definitely though, what was really curious to me and what made me really wanna wait until this past episode was, Okabe did have a couple like visions or not visions, but he had like a moment. I believe it was in episode 2 or 3, where he was like seeing things like almost like in the future or in another timeline, and because of that, and because we know that he has like the ability, like he's like, I don't know, I guess like on a higher level of consciousness than other humans or something, but he's able to kind of like see through the world lines and retain most of his memories through the world lines. So it makes me wonder like who else is messing with time right now. I'm assuming it's somebody like maybe Kurisu's father. It's probably him, honestly. And then, we had the missing child in the last episode, in episode 5. And I believe it was Kagari. And Kagari looks just like Kurisu, which Okabe said so also. And this is one of the things that's making me really want to like dive ahead into like, the visual novel and stuff, because it's like, who the heck is this girl that looks just like her? Supposedly she was adopted in the future. So I'm wondering, like, is this somehow some sort of child, like, from Okabe and Kurisu or something? And then I don't know, and she's, like, just, like, lost in time. Like, maybe she ended up an orphan in that timeline that she came from because, like, the world lines are all messed up. Because in that timeline, I'm pretty sure Okabe was supposed to be still alive that she came from. So how would he not, like how would she not, why would she need to be adopted if Okabe was still alive? Like, he would definitely take care of his daughter. So something's really weird there. I'm like really curious as to why like she looks like her. That's a huge mystery. But yeah, those are some of my brief thoughts right now. And like the major points that I just wanted to bring up about the show. I love it. I love that, they're getting into a whole bunch of crazy scenarios right now with the world lines. possibly merging here. And kind of like glimpsing into some discussion boards. I've seen like some people speak about the visual novel a little bit, and like they've said that that I guess like in the visual novel they put out like a few different scenarios that could happen, which is cool. So I'm really curious to see which direction to go with this show, because I'm assuming they're only going to go one direction. Like there's only going to be one way to end it, and then they're going to leave like the fans with a whole bunch of speculation and what if scenarios. But yeah, I love it so far. If you like Steins Gate, please subscribe. I'm gonna get way more in depth with these videos. Um, starting like as of now, tomorrow is gonna be episode 6, I believe. So every episode I'll do like something a little more in depth, and I'll talk about a little more, make some more theories. I'm gonna be talking about a whole bunch of other anime and stuff, like Dragon Ball, Pokemon. Talking about Tokyo Ghoul Rio also right now too. When Attack on Titan comes back on, I'm gonna be talking about that. But yeah, if you liked anything I had to say, please subscribe, and I can't wait to talk to you about Steins Gate next time.